Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Game 5. This is the fifth game, game number 5. The series is tied at 2-2 between NBC Game and STX Seoul. And here they're going to reveal who is going to be playing up next against Cow. And I am anticipating it to be C. He's kind of their best player. Okay, let's see. There's Cow. I'm anticipating C. He's the kind of the best player on NBC. And actually, it is Poussin. That's interesting. Interesting choice. I guess it's only 2-2, so if Poussin loses, they can still throw in C after him. But I would have thought they would have wanted to try and get a lead with C. I don't know, maybe they're hoping Poussin can somehow take him out and saving C for a little bit later. I don't know. Anyway, Poussin, I've been wanting to do a game with Poussin for a while. I think I may have mentioned this in something with the Pro League. Oh yeah, the Pro League finals were held in Busan, and I mentioned this as well. But I've been wanting to mention this during a game in Busan. That Busan is a town. It's a city in southern Korea, as in the south end of South Korea, and it actually was the last kind of area where the South Koreans held out during the Korean War after the North Koreans invaded over the basically took over most of the country there, and that's where they were holding out. And so when the United Nations got involved in it, they kind of reinvaded from middle, and as well as from Busan. They reinforced Busan as well. So random little historical trivia there that Busan was, for a minute or two, Busan was the last holdout of South Korea. It was basically all of South Korea was Busan. For a short time there, or the surrounding area. Anyway, so Cal is going to be in the top left corner in teal. Busan is going to be in the bottom left-hand corner, and it looks like white or yellow. And so it looks like a Samsung player there. I don't remember what that guy's name is. He's kind of one of Samsung's lesser players, I think, sitting in the crowd there. Anyway. What was I getting at? Oh yeah, so Busan is kind of he's kind of a second tier Protoss player. He's been doing decently well lately. Now people are gonna get up in arms when I say, oh, he's a second tier player, because he used to be really good. And what the hell? Oh my goodness! Well, wow. C is apparently not impressed with the C mask, where he's trying to hide his impression of it. Anyway. Busan used to be very good. He used to be a top contender in the scene, and he, like a lot of players that do that, he then kind of fell out of favor. He stopped playing well, and he stopped being able to succeed, basically. And so he's kind of stayed in the pro scene. He's been playing a little bit in Pro League and what have you, but he hasn't been a contender for a long time. Little manor pylon going down in Busan's base there. Who's that? Is that Shark? I think it's Shark. I forgot about Shark. I guess that's another player that NBC has that's pretty decent. Shark's alright, so depending on what day it is. Manor pylon going down. Let's see if he cancels it. Yeah, he cancels it. Having stopped the production of one probe for a short amount of time, he cancels that. Pretty even trade-off, I guess. That one probe mining minerals probably would have made about the same amount that he lost from canceling the pylon. Anyway. Oh yeah, but Busan's been doing pretty well lately, actually. He hasn't quite gotten up to a contender status or anything like that. Ooh, nice. Cal sneaking the Zealot around out of visual range, trying to sneak in there and get a probe. He's already hit the probe a couple times with his probe. Ooh, his probe gets picked off, though, and he has not picked off Busan's probe. Let's see if he can. He's just going to try and harass there. The two Zealots against one, though. And Busan stopped paying attention to his probe, though, while he's trying to kill off Cal's probe in his base. Cal's Zealot in his base, rather. Loses his scouting probe, so that could be vital in the grand scheme of things. He's still probably going to be able to get another probe over there if he really wants to. And he was able to see the second gateway going down at the very least. But still, you usually want to keep your probe alive as long as possible, unless occasionally... Well, you know what? I've never seen a pro do it, but occasionally players will suicide their probe to get an extra psi count in order to make a unit. You know, if you need 2 psi for your zealot, and you've only got 1 left, and you really want to make that zealot right now, sometimes you might kill off a probe or suicide your scouting probe if you don't think it's necessary anymore to try to clear up that psi. But usually programmers are so on top of things that I mean they've got a pylon warping in, you know, right when it's needed anyway, so it's not going to be a big deal. Anyway, pretty standard builds going on here. Usually at this point you would expect wow, Templar Archives going down already for Busan here, and Cal snuck in a probe. He sees the Citadel of Adun. Let's see if he might not see the Templar Archives. He's seen the Templar Archives. He knows the Templar Archives is going on. And wow, so this is absolutely great scouting for Cal. And really kind of poor of Busan to let that scout in, honestly. I actually didn't see where that probe came from, but I think it came in afterward, after he'd already gotten him out beforehand. But anyway, yeah, so that scout has gotten in there. He's going to be expecting the Dark Templar to come out. He's probably building a robotics facility already. Yeah, there's a robotics facility. So he's going to have observers out. Not with plenty of time to spare, but I think he's probably going to be able to get them out with enough time to spare. And in the meantime, he's putting some pressure on here, trying to kill off some of Busan's units, going in with his four Dragoons. Dark Templar are still a good 15 seconds off, so he's got a little bit of time to try and do some damage with these Dragoons here. It looks like he might even lose 1 Dragoon. No, he's picked off all of the Zealots. He's picked off all of Busan's Zealots, and the Dragoon is forced away. It would be instantly killed if it tried to maneuver in and try and attack those Dragoons there. And now he's actually going for pylons here. Cal is going for the pylons that are powering Busan's gateways. No, he's switched off. I'm sorry. He's just kind of attacking whatever he can right now. He's starting to lose Dragoons, though. To those 2 Dark Templar that popped out. And so he could have microed a little bit better there. He hasn't really taken out a lot. He's trying to take out some probes here. He's basically, I guess, decided to sacrifice these Dragoons to the will of the Dark Templar. Maybe just trying to distract, buy some time until he can get observers out almost. But in the meantime, Busan has built nothing but Dark Templars. He has no forces on the ground except for those Dark Templar. So when Cal gets his reinforcements coming in, with observers alongside, it's going to be absolutely devastating. There's a line of Dark Templar chasing the Dragoons back to their base, but there are going to be observers in place. And yeah, backup Dragoons, so if he loses, he might lose those Dark Templar here in a second. He doesn't know that observer's coming in. Don't so squash and show the battle. Okay, there we go. So 1 Dark Templar gets picked off. Second one almost gets picked off. One of the Dark Templars running around the side. He's going to try and go in and sneak in. A second observer is probably going to be coming out, though. It's going to come down to a little bit of luck for Cal at this point, if he can defend his front door or not. Zealots are coming out. The Dark Templar is sneaking into his base. They are sneaking into his base, and the second observer is probably going to be popping out here to catch the Dark Templar, but there's no forces back there, and he's losing probes. Oh my gosh, I can't believe he didn't anticipate this. He's losing probes. In the meantime, he's putting pressure on Busan's front door, though. Busan losing some troops at his front door, and yeah, okay, so now some Zealots popping out, and with that observer to try and take care of that Dark Templar in Cal's base. But it looks like he lost a few probes there, and he needs to fall back here. He's still trying to put pressure on Busan's front door, but he's now outnumbered, so it's not really doing a lot of good, and I don't know why Busan still has those probes there. He loses 2 probes because he had them around. But yeah, things kind of equalize now, I guess, at this point. Yeah, so... Sorry, another observer coming out, just a safety observer. Maybe he didn't have that observer before, actually. I'm not sure. No, I'm certain he had an observer before. He must have produced it. Anyway, yeah, so things are kind of equalized now. Busan moving out with a large force here, and Cal, I think he pressed his slight advantage a little bit too much and pressed it for too long and left his troops in Busan's base while he got outnumbered. And now he's produced a Dark Templar of his own, but his front door is in danger here. Let's see if he brings back his Dark Templar to deal with this front door threat or not. It looks like he's just going to try and depend on his micro, depend on that choke point. He's going to go in with the Dark Templar. It makes sense. There is only a small window of opportunity, and he may not be able to get in before that window happens. The cannon is about to warp in. Dark Templar running in. He's going to be able to see that cannon. He might be able to get by, though, before the cannon warps in. The cannon is not yet warped in, and the Dark Templar does manage to get by. The observatory is in his base, but there's no cannons in his main, and Cal has managed to sneak in a Dark Temple